I'm Daniel Cudmore. I play Felix in New Moon.
I'm Charlie Bewley. I play Dimitri in New Moon.
Okay, now the thing is, we haven't had a chance to see the film. We won't see it until next week. I do have a teenage daughter, so I'm somewhat familiar with the whole Twilight series. And what I want to know right now is, I mean, she's all about Team Edward and Team Jacob. What team are you guys on?
Well, you give it 10 days and there'll be Team Vultures and Team Wells and all sorts. I mean, all sorts of teams.
Yeah.
There's so many more characters in this thing that are, you know, become a very important part of the storyline. So, I don't know. I'm probably Team Jacob because I'm all about physicality. You know?
Oh, yeah?
So I'm all physicality. I really do enjoy that whole kind of rough, sort of wolfy thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the same with that one. I think I'm a little Team Jacob for sure.
Okay, is that right? So, you mentioned this Vulturi. Explain to those of us, the uninitiated, who the Vulturi are.
Well, the Vulturi are brought into the saga because we make and enforce the rules of the vampire kingdom, because we are essentially a secret race, a secret breed of creature, and as such that needs to be protected. And when a certain Edward Cullen decides to disclose that secret to the world, we are brought into the fold to actually shut him right up.
And how do you guys do that? I mean, do you have superpowers, or what makes you guys who you are? How do you do what you do?
Well, I'd say that's tough because my character doesn't have any power. So.
Okay. Oh yeah, shall I ask this question for you then?
Yeah, I'm like, man.
Why are you talking about me?
Let's talk about Charlie. No, my character, he doesn't have a power per se, but I mean, he is top notch of what he does, and what he does is tear apart other vampires. So there are no other vampires that can beat him in a one-on-one match. So, you know, in that way, he does have a power, but you know, he doesn't have the tracking ability. He doesn't have any mind control, being able to read thoughts, anything like that.
Are you just like the tough guy?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah,
like kind of a henchman?
Well, yeah, we're henchmen. But, you know, I've years and years of fighting vampires and you know, tearing them apart and various things like that. I've learned a couple things. I got some tricks in the trade, kind of deal.
And do you, when you beat them up, do you suck their blood?
No.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, you do. Things just got weird.
And how about you?
Well, Dimitri is he's fairly canned in his abilities in the next two books, but he has this awesome ability to track. He's an unparalleled tracker. I mean, we saw a bit of tracking in the first Twilight movie by James, who tracks by the smell of someone, by their scent. My character, Dimitri, he actually tracks by tracking the tenor of one's voice. So once he hears your voice, there's no getting away from him. He can, as sound waves are essentially limitless, he can track anywhere you are. It's very, very hard to you have to kill him, essentially.
Like a whale.
Much like whales and dolphins.
Yeah. Kill a whale if you're in the
And now here's the thing I want to ask you about is when you guys do the show, when you're doing this, is it funny on the set? I mean, there's a lot of, in some ways, vampires are so campy. I'm just wondering if you guys are just cracking up and then you get in your serious mode. I mean, this is a huge phenomenon, but it's also kind of goofy.
Yeah, in a way. I mean, it's like anything else. You're having fun at work.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes someone's going to have a laugh and going to go, but you know, the scenes are the majority of the ones that I had are intense. So it's not, you know, no, we never really have like you laugh at ourselves kind of thing, but
it's really refreshing to hear someone just completely slate the whole vampire. Yeah, it's like having smoke blown up various places for the last, you know, while about being a vampire. Someone just to go, vampires are ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's kind of cool to hear that. You know? I mean, it's very grounding. Wait a sec. Oh yeah, I'm a vampire. I'm an idiot.
Wait a second. You're ridiculous. Thank you. I never really thought of it that way.
What do you guys make of the whole Twilight phenomenon? I mean, the fans. I mean, I know later this afternoon you're going to go out to the South Center. They're all going to be these adoring fans who, as far as I can tell, haven't even seen you two.
Yeah, which is flattering.
Yeah, which is. I mean, so what is that whole fan phenomenon like for you?
The fact that this has become so big, there must be a reason for it. And whether it was intentional or not, Stephanie Meyer has created something that has become massively accessible to so many people.
Yeah.
And you know, there's nothing wrong in that. So it's very, you know, it's a wonderful thing to happen. It really is. For people like me and Dan, I mean, I haven't done much film so far. I've been plucked from relative obscurity and dropped into this cauldron, and it's a wonderful life experience. It really is. It's something that not many people get to go through, and the fandom that comes with it is something that you just have to look at and breathe in and just absorb and enjoy it for what it is, and crowd surf and throw water around.
There you go. I mean, it does. Do you feel like you sort of, in some ways, grabbed the brass ring? I mean, you're sort of like, you're in The Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. You're in a series that has this sort of phenomenal worldwide attention. That's got to be good for your careers, if nothing else, correct?
Yeah, no, I mean, for sure. Now we have so many more doors that have opened up for us to. I mean, obviously, you still have to prove yourself for every role, but. Yeah, it's exciting to, you know, it doesn't really sink in, I think, until you're finished with film and you go, okay, wow, all right, this is huge. Okay, now let's focus on what's next. You know, as an actor and as a professional, you just want to now focus on what next audition you have, put the work towards that, and yeah, I mean, like, it's one of the best opportunities. You know?
You mentioned being plucked from obscurity. Most people didn't know who Robert Pattinson was before the first Twilight movie. I want to get a sense of you guys. Is he a hunk or a twit?
You're asking me to either you're asking me to slander my co-star on radio here,
He's hot.
or admit that I think he's smoking hot.
So wow.
Well, I think Robert. I got to tell you, I think that the first Twilight movie was successful not only because of the book, but because of how good a job Rob did. There's no doubt about that. The guy looked great on camera, and therefore, you know, I'm going to go with option one on that, but only by general consensus, not by my own like dreamy opinion of him. Like, I know Rob offset, and I know he you know.
So what kind of guy? I mean, and again, I don't want to get in too gossipy stuff, but that's what everyone wants to know. I mean,
we're not gonna, right?
What's this guy like? Especially my daughter.
Yeah, Rob's
a good guy.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy, and he loves his music. And it's funny. The first time I met Rob was actually just outside the Vancouver studios, and you know, he was there. And I went up to him and said, "So, how you doing? You all right?" And he looked at me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm doing okay, but all my mates are back home in London getting record contracts."
Oh yeah.
And I looked at him and I was like, "Wow, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever." How ungrateful are you, Rob?
Yeah, that's right.
No, but it just goes to show where his priorities lie. He's a musician and also a very good actor, and clearly very talented.
Now, who do you, again, not having seen the film yet, who do you interact with? Do you deal with Taylor Lautner? Do you deal with Edward, Kristen Stewart? I mean, who do you interact with in terms of the actors?
On the film or in
the film, and then off can be the second question.
Right. I mean, in the film, our characters are brought in obviously because Rob's character has been a bit of a bad boy and started to try and release these secrets. So we're brought in to, you know, mess him up a little bit and tell him what's what. And so we interact with his character and Bella, and
yeah, we are a family at the end of the day. The Vultures are our family. So
yeah,
we have. I mean, we got to go to Italy with Dakota Fanning, so she plays Jane, and I've also got to know very well Cameron Bright, who plays Alec, and we're the four of us of the guards. We are the field agents essentially. We're the ones with the powers here, and also people like Jamie Campbell-Bower, Chris Hayedale as well. He's from Vancouver. Michael Sheen was on set for a bit. You know, we all had great fun together, and we are sort of, I guess, here and there, bonding as such as a Vulturi family, and there's a definite sense of the prestige that we need to uphold in the film when we get on set there.